Okay, everyone, sorry for the late video. I just had some computer issues locking up on me on Camtasia and had to shut down a few programs and reboot. And it just takes a while to get 200 windows open. So anyway, and yes, I do go and read all that stuff. As crazy as that sounds. This is Red with Red Dragon Leo, obviously. And it is Thursday, an update for Friday 9/9/2011. And we'll start right here on the monthly chart. You can clearly see on the monthly chart this month is probably going to be horrible for it's said and done. We done bounced off of the 200 period moving average last month in August. This month, the second touch, we should go through it on the monthly chart. And you can see here it is clearly going down, and I think it's, by the end of this month, this is easily going to break, and we're headed down lower, much lower. I'd be shocked if this thing manages to not break this before the month is over. It's possible, I guess. It's possible we could have a pause month. Let's say we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fifth month. I guess that's possible if we're going to go into October, where they could possibly run down here a little bit more, rally it up. But I really don't feel that that's going to be the case. I think they're going to continue down. And maybe they'll bounce up into October, the first half, or something like that, for a wave 2, or just, for the wave 2. And then back down again after the Legatus pilgrimage. It's really kind of hard to tell exactly because this looks so bearish. So I guess we really got to wait and see. But it's definitely going down. You can clearly see that. So here's the deal on the weekly. You can clearly see we went down and basically just put in a bear flag right now. The week isn't over with, but tomorrow I do expect it to rally up. And then next week I'm not sure about yet. We'll have to wait and see. But I suspect it'll be down. I think this will probably be the last up week, and then we'll take our wave 3 down. That's why I think September is going to be pretty ugly, and then maybe up into October, then back down again before the end of the month is over with. I think after this completes and we have our wave 2 up, and then our really wave 3 down after the Legatus pilgrimage, which is a turn date. It does not mean it's going to be a turn down necessarily. I'm just speculating that it is based upon a lot of factors. It could be a turn up, but I really don't think so. It could be a bottom, but I don't think so. I think we're going to go down here and then go up into that 23rd for the Legatus pilgrimage. Then we're going to go down October, November, and December. And how far, I don't know yet, but we'll see. Of course, we've got lots of fake prints. We'll just take that one day at a time. As you can clearly see, we are moving up here on the histogram towers. We still have not put in a positive divergence yet. So what we're going to see here is this week to close out positive, and this bar here maybe to go up just a little bit, and then next week would start the down move, and it should be less than this one here. It shouldn't be as deep. So it should be a higher low. It's what we're looking for to get a positive divergence so that they can start the major wave 2 up. Assuming this whole move down will be wherever it goes to, let's say about right in here. If you just measure this distance and tack it onto here, put you at sub 1,000. That would be and that'd be a wave 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, and that completes the whole wave down. And then we can rally up into the Legatus pilgrimage. So let's see here. Let's try this again. This little pen thing. I'm getting a little bit better at it. So let's see. Okay. So the theory there is that this week goes up a little bit more. I don't know exactly where it's going to close. Then next week we start down, and before it's said and done, we're going to be below 1,000 there, and then you'll have your wave 1, your 2, your 3, your 4 there, and your 5, and this whole move down makes a major wave 1. A major 1. Okay, and then each of these are minors. These are minors in here. Okay, then after this, I would suspect that we go up. I don't know how far, but I would suspect probably this 200-day moving average. And that could go, it's going to chop, of course. It's not going to be straight up. But that would, if all goes as planned, that will go up and top out by the week starting October 23rd. I believe that is a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So the Monday after that, we should see the top, because this is the last day for the Legatus pilgrimage, when the gangsters meet and cash all their checks and leave the country and leave us all here alone to defend ourselves. The end pilgrimage is what it stands for, pilgrimage. Okay, and the last one, by the way, in case you did not know, the last Legatus pilgrimage was right here at the May 2nd top. It actually was April the 30th to May the 2nd, and when it opened there, that was the top, and then we've been going down ever since. Okay, so when that happens, obviously the next wave down is going to be a major wave 3. Major 3. Okay, and of course this whole move up here from here to here is P2. Come on. Oh man, I hate it when it does that. Still haven't figured out why it does that to me. Okay, let's try 2. Nope. Well, it does that. It stops on me, and I still have not figured it out because I just got too busy doing other stuff. Anyway, you get the idea there. There's your P2. It stops writing on me when I'm trying to do this. And then this whole move down is your primary wave 3. This whole move from here all the way down to our suspected bottom of 34. God dog it. This irritates the crap out of me that I cannot. What does that thing do? What's that do? What's that do? Why don't you write? There's nothing wrong with this pen thing. It's just I just can't get it to write. I don't know. Beats the heck out of me. So I have to go and I have to kill it and then do it again. Start it over. So anyway, let's move on. Let's forget that anyway. Let's just move on right here to the other charts, and we'll get to that at some other time. One of the reasons I thought that we were going to go up today, as I've been telling you that, or up tomorrow, I mean, is that we still haven't made it to the 0 line, and I think we're going to get close to it. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way there or not, but I think we're going to get close to it. As you can see, it has curled back up, does got more room to run, and it did curl up right there at the 50 line, and it has curled up right here on the slow stochastics. These are all my reasonings for why I was thinking to go long today. And we basically went up there and tagged this trend line and roll back down, and I think it will gap over it tomorrow and run up. I don't know how high. Maybe it's weak and only makes it to 12.18 or 12.20, somewhere in that range before it comes back down, or maybe it pushes on up. I don't know. Now you look at this 60-minute chart, and you're going, well, no way, Red. That to me looks like it's ready to roll over. Yes, it does, but you got to understand that the daily chart here is still pointing up strong, which is going to override the 60 when it starts hooking back up like that. Still pointing up strong. So you've got the daily pushing it up. You have no negative divergence here. So it's very rare for it to roll over without some type of negative divergence. It should kind of do one of these numbers so that you can get some negative divergence. Now, if the daily was pointing down hard and not pushing up, then you wouldn't have to have that negative divergence. It would probably just roll right over. But since the daily is supporting it, it's not likely to roll over on the first try. So that to me tells me this is probably going to circle out and go up a little bit more. It's what it's going to do. That might dip in the morning and come back up here, but I do think it's going to put in some negative divergence there before it starts heading south again. And how far it goes, I don't know, but that'll be next week probably. Now that doesn't mean that if we move up right here and gap up out of this range and we come up here in this 1220 area, that does not mean that we could not roll over and run right back down into the close and back test this trend line. That's a possibility too. As you can see, this is pointing down right here on the full stochastics, so there will be pressure on it tomorrow to roll back down. So then you could call this, I guess you'd call this whole move here an A, and we finally got our B right here down, and this move is going to be a C. I just don't know where it's going to end. Is it going to come down here and maybe turn and go right back up next week to complete the C, and maybe inside it? C waves sometimes actually have 5 waves in them, so it could go up, back down, up, down, and then up one more time. Obviously it's not drawn to scale because it's the third wave in it should be the strongest. So maybe it'll be weak tomorrow, closing up just a little. Maybe it gaps up above this trend line, runs out of steam, comes back down right here, okay, as this runs up and comes back down. This is what I'm thinking might happen. And then maybe towards next week or something like that, still remaining positive though for the day. Then maybe towards next week you have your wave 3 inside of this C, with this being like a wave 1, a 2, and then maybe a 4 and a 5. That's a possibility. And this whole move being a C, and again this being a B here, and this being an A, and this whole move completing this larger wave 4, and then we drop. That's a possibility, but it does not have to happen. We could simply go up here and end short and roll over, and if it breaks this line and falls back into this territory, then we're falling hard. That's a possibility. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We just have to kind of wait and see and get a feel for it. But regardless, I still think we go up tomorrow, and I don't know how high before it rolls over, but I think it's going to go above the 1210 area now at this point. I said 1210 in the previous video, but I think it's going to go above it. Now here's another reason as to why I thought we were going to roll over or turn back up tomorrow. This 30-minute chart rolled down this whole time and wants to hook back up. And you can see all the way down here with the full stochastics as well. It is already bottomed, ready to roll back up. It is ready to roll back up here. It's ready to roll back up here. This tells me that that's exactly what we're going to get, and that's exactly why I went long. Was, again, I think it's going to gap up above this. It might have that resistance to 1210. Maybe that's where it backs down. And again, I don't know if we're going to fall hard from that in tomorrow. It is a ritual date, 9/9/11, obviously, and so that's a possibility that they do that, or it just drops back and then runs up into Monday and Tuesday and maybe next week. We don't really know what's going to happen next week. They could stage something over the weekend with another 9/11 event. You just don't know if these gangsters, what they've got planned, what George Daddy Bush has got planned, and David Rockefeller and Jay Rockefeller and Henry Kissinger and all the other Illuminati reptilian shapeshifters, thugs, murderers, rapists. Anyway, looking at the 15, I've seen exactly the same thing here on the 15. As you can clearly see, the 15 is also curling up. So you've got the daily, the 30-minute, and the 15-minute chart are all curling up, supporting, again, a gap up above this trend line and just a move up. You know, I'm talking about this line right here that's not drawn, but it was on the other chart. So you gap up above it, and then maybe you come back down. It depends. You know, it's light volume on a Friday. They like to close it positive. It'd be a good place to look for a short around 12.10, maybe just for a one-day trade if you just want to do it there. Just kind of have to look at the whole situation and see. But that's kind of what I would look for tomorrow, and that would be your negative divergence on this. And this would, you know, curl up and then it look to roll back down in the next week. Is what I would be expecting on the 15-minute chart. So those are all my reasons for going long into tomorrow for a one-day trade. And let me pull down a chart here from here. Okay, and I wanted to show you a few things here. Okay, as you can see, I've drawn a lot of trend lines right here. This one that we banged upon, look at where it come from. It come all the way from the May 2nd high of 2011. That's where this trend line goes. You follow it all the way back, the May 2nd high. And it hit upon it and, of course, fell back down. It did break this rising trend line. So that one's really not important anymore because it broke it. But, of course, it could serve as a back test if it gets all the way up to 122. It did fill the gap here on the SPY. Okay. And, of course, we've got obviously some major support there. This horizontal trend line actually goes back to, I will show you where that goes back to, 1 year. It's a very important one as well. Right here goes back to this low here. It is now pierced it 1, 2, 3 times, and it rallied from it. Obviously, this next time it's not likely to survive it. It will just pierce right through it and just keep on going. And there doesn't appear to be any support until this line here, which you'd have to go back to a 5-year chart. We look at the 5-year chart, we can see where that line comes in at. You see this one. We see one here at the top here. We see one here at the bottom. This would be more likely your support as we go down. This level here is, again, that one. And there is the top starting in 2007. That obviously would be a place for the market to bounce. If it fell, I would expect it to bounce there, wherever that comes in. You know, come to think of it, I still have a fake print of 106 something on the SPY that's yet to be fulfilled. So, you know, that could be foretelling that by the time it gets there and this market falls there, that's exactly where it could be, 106 something. Anyway, so that's the SPY. The other charts here would be, let's look at, let's see what else I want to look at. I think I want to look here at the ES. And obviously we're going to go to 60 days. This is the futures. And I've drew some lines in here, obviously, on the futures as well. Drew some lines there, but it's on the wrong time frame. I think I actually put that on the 2-hour or the 4-hour. But you can clearly see we are in not only a bear flag across here, but a triangle too, which is not as noticeable on the SPX as it is on the E-minis, because they trade, you know, obviously after hours and pre-market and stuff. So these lines are a little bit off. I think I did that on the 4-hour chart. This one I actually no, still didn't do it on the 4-hour, but regardless, you can see there's still a possibility we could go up here. Look at where that trend line comes from, 4/19/2011. That's obviously an important trend line. That's why it's having trouble getting over it. And then you've got this sloping one down here from 7/20/2011. That's going to put a lot of pressure on it. It's going to have to jump above that if it wants to get above it tomorrow. So, and then will it make it? Here's about as high as you'd think it would make it, the May 2nd, 2011 trend line. And if you go and look at the 1 year, and you will see where this trend line comes in at. I drew it from the very peak right here, connected this one right here, and it points right here. That could be about as high as I could possibly see the market going, maybe early next week. I don't know if it's going to get that high or not. I really don't. But certainly it's got a lot of gapping to do to get above this line here and this line here, and it could very well do that tomorrow. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to happen. Looking at it again at here on the 60-day, and you can see. Let's get rid of let's put the RSI in here for the relative strength. And relative strength. Okay, let's put this one. RSI 2. Relative strength. Okay, RSI Wilder. It's not the one I'm looking for. Okay, how about RSI? That one, that was the one I was kind of looking for. You can see it on the RSI, the relative strength index. It's pretty much petering out, running out of steam, as you can see right here. If we zoom in on this, just this area right here, it had the most of the strength here, and it has went down here and come back up, and now it's turning back down. This clearly tells me that it's getting ready for a fall. And this is on the 60-minute chart. We can look at it on the 2-hour chart as well, and we'll probably see the same thing. It has already peaked out right here with the strength of the move up. It is getting tired, coming back up for one last attempt, and then it'll probably roll over really hard, and that might start as early as tomorrow or next week. We'll do it on the 4-hour chart, and we're going to have pretty much the same thing. Peaked out again right here, ran out of steam, has been heading down, trying to come back up, but it is certainly running out of steam. So everything I see tells me that we're going to have one little gap up tomorrow just for short term, and then after that I think next week we'll probably start our down move. I don't know when it's going to start. It's going to be a hard one to call for sure, but it just depends on how far they want to take this up, how far they want to take this up here. Obviously, I just told you that they could push all the way up to this 1250 area, which is ironically the bottom of that. You draw the line from there all the way down. It puts you around that 1250. You draw a line through here. You're around that 1250. I don't really feel like we're going to get that high, but all I can tell you is tomorrow, I see tomorrow up. Everything tells me that they're going to gap it up and go up a little. Then maybe they might reverse into the close and get some selling going. So if it gaps up a little, I'll exit my longs, and then I'll assess and see what the possibility of shorting is. I'll probably take a short and go from there and see what happens. See if it starts to head down and starts to break some major support, then hey, we started our wave 3 down, and great, I was short. If not, then we only started a little smaller wave down that's going to turn and go right back up next week. Then hey, I'll exit my shorts. But so that's my reason for all that. Hope that all makes sense to you. And cut this video short. I'm tired of going to bed. I will see everyone tomorrow on the blog or in the chat room. Thanks a lot.